Hello, I'm Paul Pluta. Welcome to the Paul Pluta channel. We're doing paid reviews because I don't do shit for free. No free shit here. And today I want to talk to you. About wristwatches. I love me wristwatches. Remember, like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Tell your friends. Now, don't forget, man cannot live on Google Ads alone. Paid reviews, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 50 bucks. Here we go. This is a question. Hey Arch, I'm new to watches and just wondering if you could give me some advice. I bought myself an Omega DeVille Prestige Automatic caliber 2500, and yeah, I know how you feel about these watches, but hell, I just wanted a plain dress watch anyhow. I was just wondering if you could tell me about how I should properly maintain it. For example, if it should be manually wound every day or not, or ever. If they do need to be wound, how many rotations? The user manual is useless, it seems, and internet forums are even more confusing. It seems like everyone has an opinion on the best way to look after an automatic. I don't use this watch every day, and I go long periods without wearing it, and again, I'm not sure what I should be doing to preserve it. Some people say the oil dries up. Some people say it's fine to just leave it for months on end. Can you please give me some really basic tips for a knob? I really love your channel. I wish you would do some videos on what watches you think will be worth a fortune in the future. I think that would be very interesting. Anyway, thanks for the help. He sent me some money. Owen. Okay, Owen, well done. Thank you. At least you've entered the hobby. That is great. That is great. So, what is my opinion? Well, I gotta tell you the truth. Brands like Omega, Rolex, their movements are often made very, very robust. So, they're not the most delicate. The most delicate brand, I think, is Audemars Piguet. Patek, with a lot of gold parts there, they can be a bit delicate as well. So, you can be a bit meaner and nastier to a Rolex or an Omega than you could say to an AP or a Patek. But basically, what the best thing to do is, if you've got a wristwatch and you've taken it out of a slumber, the best thing to do really is to wind it, probably about 10 times. Wind, just wind, then set it. Okay, that's what I like to do. Wind 10 times. This is on an automatic. If it's a manual wind, I'd wind it about 10 times, then I would set it, and then I would do the final bit of winding. This is just my opinion. So I would basically wind it 10 times, then I set the time, go around the 12 o'clock so I know if it's got a date window, whether it's AM or PM, and set it accordingly. And then you can use the quick set to set the date quickly. Then I would basically automatic, screw the crown in, give it a bit of a shake just to get the movement going. So in this case here, say this was a watch that just come out of slumber, so I'd immediately undo it, and then I would wind it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I would then pull it out further, set the time, then I would push it in one, and then I would set the date. Then what I would do is I would wind the crown in, and I'd give it a little bit of a shake just to get that rotor running. Wear it, enjoy. That's what I would do. Now, the most finicky watches tend to be Patek, Audemars Piguet, and even Jaeger-LeCoultre. The rules are, let me give you some rules. Number 1, never ever wind the watch backwards. The hands always should be going forward. So, basically, I know somebody who had a Jaeger-LeCoultre and they wound it back and it stuffed up the date mechanism. It had to be sent in for an expensive repair. A lot of damage on watches is done with the date changeover, so there's actually a time when it's best not to adjust the date when the watch is gearing up after 9 o'clock at night and be After 3 a.m., that time from 9 o'clock at night to 3 a.m., you shouldn't be adjusting the date feature because it's gearing up to change, and that can damage it. In all honesty, Rolex tends to be the most robust of all the watches. Rolex and Omega are very, very robust pieces. So the other thing is always wind forward, never go backwards, which can be quite annoying if it's an annual calendar or something like that. It's a real pain in the ass. Look, as far as leaving it sit or not, look, you should service a watch somewhere between 5 to 10 years. Every 5 to 10 years, it'd be good to service it. Should you keep it running or not running? Well, if it's in a safe and it's not high temperature, I don't think it'd really hurt if it's not running. It's really up to yourself. Does the oils dry out? Look, there's pros and cons. Oils dry out, but then there's less wear. Otherwise, you'd have the oils are okay, but it's more wear and tear on the parts. So it's a catch-22. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I think it's okay to leave it sit. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I personally can't let them sit long because I love my watches. They're like my babies. I just love wristwatches. I love to play with them. I love to wear them. So I don't think it's going to cause a lot of trouble there. The most finicky brands are like AP. I know a good friend of mine's got an AP 15300. It's a Royal Oak. And, first time after he gets it out of hibernation and he sets it and wears it, it's pretty bad for a day. The timekeeping is crappy. Then it kind of fits into a groove and runs. Who knows why the hell that is? Who knows why the hell it is? It's just how it is with AP. They are extremely finicky. But Rolex Omega, they're pretty robust critters. So, look, the DeVille, I gotta tell you, it's not a terrible watch. Omega is a great brand. I really do love Omega. I got my Omega Speedmaster. Man on the moon! Man on the moon! Man on the moon! But the other Omega you've got, that's a great piece. Enjoy it, love it, look after it. Hey, you can't go too wrong with that. So, yep, that's the verdict there. I hope that helps there. A bit of watch advice. What watches should be worth a fortune? That's a very hard one. I tell you honestly, a lot of watches these days, they've made far too many to be really worth something. It's very, very hard to pinpoint the ones that'll be worth a lot. I tend to think, this is my own opinion. I think any of the pre-ceramic sports Rolexes will be heavily in demand. They've got some great upside. They're still affordable. They are rising in price. The price difference between ceramic and pre-ceramic is starting to get so close together. Eventually, the pre-ceramics will have to pass the ceramics because they're just not making them anymore. The other thing I think will be valuable, I don't think any watches in a modern era are really going to be that valuable. It's not like the 1950s where they made a limited number. Now they're making a lot more. So many collectors. Every model of watch, some collector in the world has got it put in his safe. A mint example, untouched by human hands. But I would say some of the Pateks, I really think some of the Pateks like the World Time 5110, you can buy one of those now, somewhere between 22 to 27 sort of mark. Patek World Time, if you've got a new World Time in Australia, 64,000, what's that, 45 US, 45 to 50,000 US dollars, 40,000 US dollars, that there, if you can buy a second-hand 5110 for 20s, that'd be really a lot of upside. So I think something like that will be has got potential. You buy it at 24, it could be worth, you could gain really well there. I think Patek has released far too many complicated watches in modern times that's really going to hurt resale down the track. I think, look, you look at a lot of brands at the moment, ones that are hard to sell. Rolex is really king, but brands like Jaeger-LeCoultre, they have really tanked. So if you're going to buy at the right end of the curve, when it's low, if you can get the bargains, which is hard because the dealers don't. Just because the market's shit doesn't mean the dealers are passing it on. No. They're buying them and holding them and selling them at high prices, but you understand what I mean. I really think it's to be worth a fortune. I think anything in current era is too many have been made. Too many have been made to be worth a fortune. Yeah, that's my view. I think, see, this is a hobby for enthusiasts. You gotta love the watches. It's not really to make moolah. It's not to make moolah. That's my view. I think you buy things you love. If they become really, really, really valuable, hey, that's so cool. But if they don't, hey, it's okay. It's okay. You know, that's kind of my opinion. I'm Paul Pluter. This is the Paul Pluter channel on YouTube. Tell me what you guys think of that.